Coming up on the dime, a raucous return in New Orleans. The Hornets welcome Chris Paul back into the fold. Out west, the Celtics look to keep streaking in Salt Lake, while other Eastern elites jockey for their playoff position, and the Nets continue to chase the worst kind of NBA history in New Jersey. The Daily Dime drops now.
Earlier in the season, Greg Popovich actually told him, hey, if you don't shoot the ball, I'm taking you out of the game.
OKD and one. With a little bit of junkyard dog in that drive along the baseline.
And great to have you with us as always. Welcome into the Daily Dime. I'm John Anik. Later, Chris Paul returns for the Hornets and a possible playoff preview from Milwaukee between the Hawks and the Bucks. But we begin with the enigmatic Boston Celtics, largely inconsistent for much of the second half. The C's are finally getting healthy, and the results are starting to show. After back-to-back wins over the weekend in Houston and Dallas, Boston is now 9-3 this month and look to complete a perfect road trip Monday night in Salt Lake City. Never an easy task against the Jazz. So Kevin Garnett and the Celtics trying to make it 5 straight wins on the road at the Jazz. Before we get to that, we flash back. The last time the C's played in Utah, and not a good night for Garnett. He comes up lame there and would go on to miss 22 regular season games with a knee injury. The good news was no recurrence Monday night here early first quarter. Paul Pierce setting up Garnett for the baseline J. Boston led by 5 at the break. Early third quarter, though, the Jazz starts to get loud. Darren Williams, nice pass to a wide open Carlos Boozer down low. And then later, Mehmet Okur hit the 3 from the wing. Utah takes the lead by 2, and they weren't done there. Later, D. Will knocks it down from close range, and then Okur with another triple. The Jazz outscored the C's 16-4 to begin the second half. Fourth quarter now, the Utah lead is 12, and how about Boozer? The huge block there on Ray Allen, and he goes in for the uncontested jam. Carlos had 19. The Jazz lead was 14, and then Doc Rivers doing a little mockery there down the stretch. Glenn would get tossed, and the C's head back to Boston on a losing note. Kevin Durant and the Thunder taking on the San Antonio Spurs. Late first quarter, Oak City up 5. Durant going baseline. Watch and enjoy the turnaround dunk there, plus the foul. Oak City extends the lead to 7. Late second quarter now. Jeff Green playing D-line. The big deflection, and he'll go in for the uncontested jam. The Thunder led it by 6. Third quarter, though, San Antonio makes a run, down 1. Tim Duncan off the double team. The nice feed to George Hill baseline. The Spurs take the lead by 1, and Hill was not done there. Fourth quarter now, Spurs up 4. Hill gets the swing in the corner, and that one's wet from downtown. George had 27. The Spurs lead was 7. Less than a minute to go, though. The Thunder within 2. That's Durant hitting the jumper. He had 45 on 15 of 24 shooting. Later, though, the Spurs take the lead on free throws. A final chance for the Thunder, and Russell Westbrook can't get the heat to go. The Spurs clip the Thunder 99-96. So as far as regular season wins go, the Spurs' W in Oklahoma City would have to classify as a big one. It moved them even with the Thunder for the 6th spot in the West. The Spurs have now taken 3 of the 4 meetings between the two teams this season, including both games in Oklahoma City. Big game in Milwaukee Monday. Jamal Crawford and the Hawks taking on the Bucks. Pick it up in the second quarter. Atlanta up 1, and Crawford into the passing lane, then goes behind the back for 2. Jamal had 21. Atlanta's lead was 3. Fourth quarter now, the Bucks down 2. John Salmons gets it up top, goes to the elbow and pulls up for the J. That tied things at 84. 20 seconds later, still not at 84, and more from Salmons. Again, this time on the drive, and the layup plus the foul. He had 32 on 12 of 19 shooting. 87-84 Bucks. Late in the fourth now, we're tied at 91. Carlos Delfino off the nice feed from Andrew Bogut, and the Bucks had the 2-point lead, but the Hawks would answer right back. Joe Johnson curls around for 2. We're tied at 93. The Bucks would then take the lead on free throws, so a final chance for the Hawks, down 3, but nothing but air there for Crawford. He wanted a foul, doesn't get it. Milwaukee survives at home, 98-95.
Second half, it just felt good. We was down, so I wanted to be aggressive. We definitely needed to put some points on the board because the game was going pretty slow. And second half, we stepped our defense up. We started hitting shots.
Dwight Howard and the Magic taking on the Sixers in Philly. Pick it up midway through the second quarter. Superman on the drive. The nice spin move and able to hit off the window. He had 23 points, 15 rebounds. Orlando up 5 early. A few minutes later, a 2-point game. Vince Carter doing work on the baseline. Degree of difficulty high there. He had 17. Orlando up 9 at the break. Late in the third now, a 7-point game. Carter finds Rashard Lewis in the corner, and he'll rip the net there. Shard had 24. Orlando led it by 10, and then in the fourth, the Magic puts it away. Lewis to Howard for the big jam down low. The Magic rolls in Philly, 109-93. He missed the last 25 games with a torn meniscus in his left knee, and while backup Darren Collison has emerged in his absence, the Hornets went just 8-17 without Chris Paul in the lineup. So the guy they call CP3 was finally back Monday night, and as you can imagine, there was an appreciable buzz in the arena as the Hornets' fearless leader made his much-anticipated return against the Mavericks.